Hey everybody! Do you remember back in 2017 when Hurricane Harvey devastated and swept through the Houston, Texas area? That storm had left countless families homeless. Their belongings were scattered everywhere. Their spirits were crushed. Feeling compelled to lend a helping hand, I was asked by our church at the time to lead a response team to travel from the Washington, D.C. area and to assist churches in the Houston area. And as we arrived, we were greeted by a sea of weariness and despair and certainly devastation and destruction. Our team immediately set out to rally the community and local churches, and we organized teams to clear debris, repair homes, and provide some much needed supplies. But our impact went beyond physical help. We listened to stories of loss. We shared tears with grieving families, and we offered words of comfort and encouragement whenever we could. One day, as we were distributing food and supplies, we came across a family who had lost everything, and they were devastated. The parents, exhausted and overwhelmed, they were struggling to comfort their young daughter, Sophia. You see, Sophia had lost her favorite stuffy doll in the storm and had been inconsolable. And as she described this soft little doll, it reminded me of one that we had given one of my daughters. Filled with compassion, I knelt beside Sophia and I listened to her tearful story. I really felt Sophia's loss, and I certainly understood the pain of losing something so cherished. I even cried with her that day because it made me think of my own daughters. Later on that night, I snuck off while my team was resting and recovering from a long day's work, and I found a local Babies R Us, and I decided to buy a similar stuffed doll that we had gotten for my daughter. And I was hoping that Sophia would not be her replacement, but that she would have bring a little glimmer of joy to this little girl's heart. So the next morning when we arrived to continue our cleanup with Sophia's family, we gave her a stuffed doll that was very similar to my daughter's. And a beautiful transformation occurred. Sophia's frown quickly turned into a great big smile and a huge, wonderful hug for me. And a spark of hope ignited within this little girl, and her family, witnessing this act of kindness, was deeply moved, and her mom cried with tears of joy as she shared with me that it was the exact stuffed doll she had just lost. You see, in our passage today, the Apostle Paul calls us to bear the weaknesses of others and to not just please ourselves. He invites us to explore the significance of carrying others' burdens and prioritizing their spiritual well-being. It says, "We who are strong ought to bear the weaknesses of those without strength and not just please ourselves." Romans 15:1. Bearing the weaknesses of those without strength. When Paul speaks of bearing, he's emphasizing the act of carrying. To bear is to take on the weight, which can mean physical help, but from time to time, and more often than not, it will also mean bearing spiritual weight or emotional weight and empathizing while bringing support and encouragement. And as followers of Christ, you and I are called to support and sustain those who are struggling, lifting them up when they are weak. This is going to entail extending patience and understanding and grace and compassion to those who are facing challenges. Just as Jesus carried our sins on the cross, we are called to carry the burdens of our brothers and sisters, offering them a helping hand or an encouraging word or just simply a listening ear in their time of need. So today, I want to invite you, take a moment and ask God, is there someone in your life who may be struggling right now, going through a difficult time that He wants you to reach out to? How can you come alongside them and offer up some support and encouragement? I encourage you to do that. And if this was helpful, please like this on our page and share it with another. And until next time, stay in the Word and stay active in your faith.